Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. Today we're gonna play some more of the GTO trainer spots. This is a series where we play the spots, the training packs that are prepared by a WPT GTO trainer. These are basically spots played by the solver, and they have calculated the optimal game theory strategy, and we are making decisions and seeing immediate feedback in terms of whether this decision that we just made is a EV loss decision or if it's just EV zero, I guess, or EV neutral. So we're playing the spot MP2 open versus button call. We've done 100 hands already, and our EV loss is minus 32.4 BBs, so per 100 hands. So let's try to have a better session this time. Last time we almost did a close to zero EV session, but we butchered two hands at the end, and that's why it resulted in something like minus 30 BBs anyway. So let's jump right into it. We have King 9 suited on a board like that. I think we bet 2.5 here. We check, but betting 2.5 is fine play as well. And we get raised. We fold. Yeah. Pocket fours on a 9 king queen. It's going to be a check or a bet 2.5. The villain checks as well. We have a jack on the turn. Do we bet at this or do we check again? Maybe that's a good spot to bet sometimes. With pocket fours, are we gonna overbet this? No, I'm gonna check. And the GTO agrees. It would do that 90% of the time. So checking is fine, and of course we're checking again on the river because it changes nothing. And now the villain bets 3.5 BBs. We're gonna call this. And we should actually fold 52% of the time and call 46. So this shouldn't be a always call spot. It's a fold half of the time and call half of the time, pretty much. Unfortunately, we lose. Pocket queens on a tray queen 10 is a bet 2.5. Nope, it's a bet 5.5. Now there's another 3. We're continuing betting 2/3 of the pot this time. And again, the more frequent play and the ideal play by the solver is actually overbetting. So that's good to know. There's a 9 of hearts on the river, and I think we're gonna check. And the solver would actually just shove it all in here, which is interesting. And we're obviously calling here. And this is again a bad spot, a bad decision. We should be raising all in. Which is interesting because I would assume that there's no point in re-raising here, as either he's bluffing or not. He's not betting here with just a 10. If he's betting, he's either bluffing or he has a 3 or a 9. So that's interesting. But yeah, we lose unfortunately anyway. We have 5-4 suited on a jack queen 6. I think that's a check or bet 2.5. King on the turn. I think is a good card to try and bluff at. I think we would have to overbet it. We shouldn't. We should just check here. I think our hand is just too weak even to bluff at the spot. Yeah. Queen 10 suited on a jack, on a tray, king 8. We're gonna check. And this is a bet 5.5. Interesting, we're calling the 2.5 and we should be raising actually. Cool. Now what do we do on the jack? Do we maybe donk bet? Nah, should be a check 90% of the time. Our donk bet gets called and there's a 6 of hearts on the river. I think we need to bluff at this. Cannot win any other way, and the solver would actually prefer betting 2/3, just 9% of the time. So I assume it's checking and giving up on the hand the remainder of the time, or betting a third. Well, I don't think he's betting a third a whole lot of time, but no way to know. Pocket 3s on a 4-8 jack. That's probably a check. Is the ideal play? No, it's a bet 2.5. It's close. King on the turn. We check again. That's the ideal action. The villain checks as well. And we have a jack on the river. Is that a donk bet? Nope. It should just be a check. But the donk bet is actually the rest of the strategy. So at least we got something. But pocket 7s on a king 7. I wonder if that is a check. Or bet 2.5. Yeah, it's a bet 2.5. We get called. Ace on the turn. Now do we bet 8 or overbet? I think we bet 8. We should check 99.5% here. Yeah, give him a chance to bluff, I guess. Ace 10 on a jack 5-5 is a bet 2.5. It is. Villain calls. We have a 4 of spades on the turn. We check. Keep the pot small. Villain checks as well. 8 of hearts on the river. We check call or we donk? I think we check call, right? Yeah. And we lose, unfortunately, to a better ace. Ace jack off on a 7, 9, 10. That's a check. Or a bet 2.5. 5 of hearts on the turn. Since we checked, we might fire a bullet now. And check would be the preferred option, but firing for a third is third of the strategy, pretty much. 7, 8 of diamonds. I think that's gonna be a bet 5.5. Actually not. It's bet third of the pot. But bet 2/3 is 24% of the strategy, so not bad. 9, 10 of diamonds on a 7, 4, 4. I think it's a check. That's a bet 5.5. Okay. Now do we call this? I think we fold. Or better yet, we raise it to 10. I need to work on spots for check raising, for sure, because I'm not doing that enough. Ace 10 off on a tray 9 deuce. That's going to be a bet 2.5. Actually bet 5.5 is better. 7 of hearts on the turn. We're checking. Ideally, we would bet 8 here, 28% of the time. Checking is fine too. And 4 of diamonds on the river. Is that a donk bet? Not really. It's a check 64% of the time. Or bigger bets 30% of the time. Donk is just 7% of the strategy. King Jack on a 6-10 queen. I think that's going to be a check. Bet 2.5 is better. We hit our straight. Do we overbet? We check. 4-5 of diamond of clubs on a 7 deuce ace. That's a bet 2.5 or bet 5.5. 10 jack suited on a king 9-4. That's a check. Nope, that should be a bet 2.5. You have a king on the turn. We're checking again. We should be overbetting ideally. And another king on the river. I think we're checking again. And we should ideally bet again. But yeah, this hand, you know, the way we played it is pretty much okay EV wise. Queen 10 suited on a 4-9-7. That's a check. Or bet 2.5. Do we check call here? No, I think we fold. Sometimes check calling, yeah. It's pretty much the same. Frequency and a little bit smaller, higher EV loss on the fold. Queen 9 suited on a Jack 9 king. Bet 2.5, yeah. Pocket 9s on a 5-6-5. That's maybe bet 5.5 or bet 2.5. It's good too. Queen 9 suited. Here is the bet 2.5. Check is better. Played 60% of the time. King Queen on a Queen Deuce 9 is a bet 2.5. We get raised to 9.5. We're going to call. Jack on the turn. We're going to check. The villain bets 8.5. We're going to, so a third of the pot. I think we're going to just call. Yes. And another jack on the river. Do we check again? I think so. Yeah. And we check call. I think it's an easy check call. Yeah. We win. Nice. Pocket 10s on a Jack Ace Jack. That's bet 2.5 or a check. We get raised to 9.5. Now, do we call this or do we fold? That's the question. I think we call. Yeah. Now there's a king on the turn. We check. And now I think we have to call. We have to fold. Yeah, nothing we can do with pocket 10s anymore. Queen 10 suited on a 7 ace deuce. It's a bet 2.5 or a check. We get called. 8 of diamonds on the turn. I'm gonna check. Betting 8 would be good here. Okay. 9 of spades on the river. And we're gonna check and give up. And in reality, it seems like it's an ideal spot to overbet here. But yeah, I get why betting on the turn was better, because now we would be more credible in telling our story. Jack 10 suited on a 7 king ace. That's going to be check. Should be a bet 5.5 instead. But that's what the villain does. We're gonna fold. Whoa, fold is actually just 1% here. Interesting. King Jack off on a Queen 6-9. That's bet 2.5. Ace on the turn. I think we're going to overbet. We called. Another 9 on the river. And we can either push all in, bet third, or check and give up. I think we gotta go all in. I mean, the way we played the hand, no other option for us. Unfortunately, we lose. Pocket eights on an ace 8-4 is a bet 2.5. Or a check, ideally. King on the turn, and now we're gonna check. Hoping he bets, right? And he never does when we do that. So, we check again, or do we bet? We check again. And yeah, we get no action. But if we overbet the king, he would have probably folded anyway, so maybe that's how we should be trying to play those spots. Anyways, we played the 25 hands for today. That's awesome. And my camera just died. So unfortunately you can no longer see my face, but you can see that the overall EV loss for this hand is minus 30 BBs. So if it weren't for this particular hand, yeah, and a couple of others, we would have done better. But yeah, so far it seems like minus 30 BBs is something we're getting often. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you stay this long, please leave a comment, GTO, and subscribe to this channel if you're not already. I will really appreciate this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.